Yo, how's it going guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we proceed with our hero guide series, and our hero of focus is Cyclops. And we shall first of all go through his abilities quickly. His first ability is called the scan ability. With this ability, he reveals enemies within a range of 1000 for a period of 3 seconds. In addition, it does 35% more damage to these revealed enemies during those 3 seconds. And then for the second ability, we have the team recovery. And with this ability, Cyclops cannot shoot while it's activated. He gives 90 health and armor per second to all allies within a range of 400. This lasts for a period of 8 seconds. In addition, whenever healing is interrupted, or whenever it comes to an end, an additional 200 health and armor is given to all allies. And for the third ability, we have Invader. With this ability, Cyclops does 25% more damage and has 25% more armor. He also has an increase of 75 to his aimed fire range. On hitting an enemy, the enemy firing range is reduced by 50% and their vision range is reduced by 45%. Both of these effects last for 3 seconds. So this can really make it much easier for you to take out enemies, because they will not be able to hit you back with their guns, and they may also be unable to see you because their vision range will be greatly reduced. And for the final ability, we have Siege Expert. On killing an enemy, all enemies within a range of 360 cannot see and cannot shoot for a period of 1.3 seconds. This ability also has a passive bonus that gives an increase of 55 to the movement speed when aimed for allies in a range of 400. This means that the movement speed that allies move at when their guns are aimed will be increased by 55, and this means they won't have to slow down so much in order to remain aimed. And that brings us to the end of Cyclops' abilities. And then we proceed to some tips and tricks that you can use while playing with Cyclops. And first of all, we need to note that Cyclops is one of the hardest heroes to use in that game. If you also consider that the hero doesn't have a very wide field of vision, this makes it much harder to survive with this hero. But with a lot of practice and with some of these tips, you will be able to find more success with this hero. And the first tip that we have here is you need to scan before attacking. As we mentioned when we were discussing the scan ability, this hero does an increased damage to the heroes that are revealed after scanning. Every time you scan and reveal heroes, the damage that you do to those heroes will be increased by 35%, which will allow you to take them out much faster. The other trick which you can use on this hero is called scan cancel. So if you have more than one scan charge and you want to be able to use your scan immediately or after a very short time, you can cancel the scan. So whenever you scan and you don't intend to attack the revealed enemies, or in case you don't even reveal any enemies, you immediately hit the scan button again and the ability will stop being activated, so the cooldown will begin at that moment. And when the cooldown ends, then you can use it again. And then for our third tip here, and this is quite important, you need to get used to shooting at enemies while going backwards. So as we mentioned in the first part of the video, one of Cyclops' abilities is to reduce the hero's aimed fire range and their vision range the moment they get hit. So when you hit enemies and they are moving towards you, continue shooting at them, but do it while moving backwards, because every time you hit this enemy, they won't be able to hit you back for some seconds. So this will guarantee that you take out the enemy without them being able to do a lot of damage to you. And for our next tip here, you can attack the enemy while healing. So you move towards the enemy while you're healing, and when you're within range of hitting the enemy, just turn off healing and your gun will begin firing towards the enemy. Note that you cannot shoot while healing, so you have to get within range and then turn off healing to begin shooting at the enemy. And for our next tip here, This is applied to every hero, as we discussed in all our hero guides. You have to pick around corners to make it easier for you to hit enemies without them seeing you or hitting you. The next tip is about ambushing enemies. Cyclops belongs to the class of ambushers, and these are the heroes that use the shotguns. These heroes are best played in a playing style whereby you focus on surprising enemies and ambushing them around corners other than chasing them. And if you scan before doing this, you're going to do so much more damage and easily take out these enemies. This especially applies to the SMGs because they are too fast and you're not able to chase them and keep up with their speed. And then for our penultimate tip here, you need to understand the hero's abilities and understand how the hero works. If you don't understand how the hero works, then you're not going to be able to take advantage of this hero's abilities, and this will not allow you to find a lot of success. So understand how the siege expert and the invader abilities work, but you'll get used to this with practice. And always, as our final tip, you're always advised to practice with every hero in the game, because practice is what makes you better and is what exposes you to different situations. And that brings us to the end of tips and tricks for Cyclops. We now go through a few gearsets which you can use on this hero. The first gearset that we have here is a gearset for those without personal gears. And in this gearset, we have the special forces optics for less aiming time. We have the reflex implant for less primary weapon spread. We have the index arm for less aim spread. And then we have the precision implant for a higher movement speed while aimed. So this basically, as I explained earlier, it doesn't allow you to move faster, but it allows you to remain aimed without slowing down too much. It just increases that speed that you can move at when your gun is aimed. And then we have the third knuckle for more damage to health. And then we have the echo radar for more vision. This is a decent gear set in case you don't have personal gears. And then for our next gear set, we have another set without personal gears. And in this set, you have the index eye for more aimed fire range. We have the infantry vest for more health. We have the index arm for less aimed spread. And then we have the index leg for a higher fire rate and a higher movement speed. Then we have the third knuckle for more damage to health. And the echo radar to give you more vision. This is another decent gear set which you can equip in case you don't have personal gears. And for our third gear set here, we have a gear set that you can equip in case you want to be very aggressive and you don't want to slow down too much when you're firing at the enemy. And in this set we have the special forces optics, which reduces your aiming time. We have the infernal heart that gives you a higher fire rate and more health. We have the index arm, which gives you less aimed fire spread. We have the precision implant for a higher movement speed while aimed, as we explained earlier. And then we have the infernal coin for more vision and the exploder for more aimed range. So this is a set which will allow you to play very aggressively and will allow you to continue firing at enemies without slowing down so much. And as you can see, it also has this special forces optics that we saw in the first gear set. And then for my current set, I'm equipping these for personal gears. We have the infernal eye for more aimed range. We have the infernal heart for a higher fire rate and more health. Then we have infernal boots for less aiming time and more movement speed. And finally, we have the infernal coin for more vision. These are the 4 personal gears I've equipped, and the bonus you get from 4 personal gears is an increase of 100 to the revealing radius when you use a scan ability. So that gives you a chance of revealing more enemies. For the other 2 gears, I just equipped the index arm for less aimed spread and the exploder for more aimed range. And that's basically it for the gear sets. If you have any more tips for this hero or any other gear sets that you can recommend, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. And with that said, thanks for watching, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Maybe thought that I I was crazy, thinking that one day they'd see my name. Love being a loner, always moving closer, knew exactly